And I'm Ryan Hinton.
And we're going to be talking about meteorite impact. The moon. We've all seen him. We said goodnight moon. We've seen man land on the moon. In literature, we've seen people become wolves due to the full moon. And we've also seen Gru steal the moon. But in 1609, Galileo was able to study the moon. He was able to use the newly invented telescope to see the mountains, depressions, and large dark regions upon the moon, and it really allowed for a new study to occur. Eugene Merle Shoemaker, or Gene for short, lived from 1928 till 1997. He was a member of the Ranger program, which had the goal of sending a spacecraft to the moon to take photos of the moon's surface to see what it really is made of. And after 6 failed attempts, when they were on Ranger number 7, they were able to receive more than 4,300 images of the moon's surface. He received the J.K. Gilbert Award for Geological Excellence due to his work on this project. Although he never made it to the moon, posthumously, his ashes and his remains were brought to the moon with the lunar prospector. What made the moon? The three theories were the daughter, sister, and spouse theory, with it being claimed that the daughter's theory, the moon over 56 million years ago was with the Earth, and eventually it was spun off. With the sister theory, it was that they were created together out of cold particles. And the spouse theory had that the moon had been captured in the Earth's gravitational pull. What caused the craters, though? Until 1964, the mainstream belief was that the lunar volcanic eruptions caused the massive craters on the moon because people had claimed to see bright flashes and reddish patches appear, and there was fog, mist, and haze. Slowly, though, we broke away from that idea. After meteors hit a French village in 1803, the idea of a meteorite impact for lunar craters was theoretically possible now because asteroids had been discovered. Grove Carl Gilbert, though, he both positively affected this and negatively affected this through his study on Coon Mountain in 1896, because he had talked about Coon Mountain having everything that a meteorite would need to create, but due to prior belief in volcanism, he wasn't willing to commit, so people still believed in volcanism. And then Alfred Wenger used the ideas of the meteorite impacts to prove how the moon showed no signs of volcanic eruption, but showed the evidence of meteorite impact. But due to him also writing on continental drift, which was very controversial in his day, his papers vanished very quickly. Walter Butcher was a little bit past the time of Gilbert, and he really brought everyone back to this idea of volcanism on the moon. He brought both the ideas of Earth being full of volcanoes, but also showing how the moon is similar, so it must be volcanoes as well.
Now, as Nathaniel has pointed out, there are two distinct camps, one being the heretical one and one being the orthodox one. And these are not more clearly seen than when it comes to the moon, when we look at impact craters, and we have these two camps, one being the volcanists or the hot mooners, which believe that the moon at one point was hot and therefore began to cool down over time and therefore would be safe to land on. And then you have the impactors, who believed that the craters on the moon were not the result of volcanoes and atmospheric vents, but rather were caused by asteroids impacting it. So these takeaways would be, or these theories would be put to the test after Apollo 11 landed on the moon. After Apollo 11 landed on the moon and discovered and brought moon rocks back to Earth. Upon these moon rocks arriving, the daughter theory or the fission theory was very quickly disproven, as the Earth would have had to have spun too fast and would not be able to support life in order to shoot off the moon in such a fashion. One prominent geologist was Reginald Daly, who wrote in 1946 and a big proponent of the capture theory. While he was never really appreciated in his time, he kind of bridged the gap between both hot mooners and cold mooners, where he believed that the capture theory was plausible, but also at the same time that volcanoes could have led to the arrival of the impact craters. So, what really killed the dinosaurs, and how is this relevant? Well, we know that this is relevant um, because in 1980 a paper came out called "Extraterrestrial Cause for the Cretaceous Tertiary Extinction," which is to say there was an extraterrestrial cause for the major extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. Walter Alvarez and his father, Luis Alvarez, worked on geology around this time and discovered that through carbon dating and looking at the ground, they discovered that there was a high concentration of iridium during a brief geological eye blink around 5,000 years, where a concentration of iridium and other metals from extraterrestrial asteroid objects were much higher than before and previously. This allowed them to present a theory that asteroids or a big asteroid had hit and had caused this great extinction. This theory was majorly opposed due to volcanism and the belief that volcanoes had also erupted around this time, and their theory would ultimately not have the evidence that they needed until in 1991 when the Chicxulub crater was found, or as the Alvarez like to call it, the crater of doom. Upon Alan Hildebrand and William Boynton finding the crater in 1991, they thus had the evidence that they needed in order to present their case that uh, and that asteroid impacts had caused the death of the dinosaurs, and therefore previous heretical beliefs or heretical theories that asteroids were not able to cause the craters on both the moon and the Earth were disproven, and as such, we believe that it was not heresy.
And thank you. That ends our presentation. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.